what would this plan do? We would preserve fee-for-service traditional Medicare, not temporarily, but permanently. If you want to be in that, you can stay in it. But we would provide the option of going to an exchange, a federally run exchange, but we would set them up regionally, meaning metropolitan areas and major rural areas would have separate exchanges. Plans would compete on those exchanges. They would have to offer the same benefits, at least the same benefits as Medicare on an actuarial basis. They would be subject to the rules that they had to accept anybody who applied. The plan would be compensated on a risk-adjusted basis, more if you were older or sicker, and it would be a regulated exchange on which you couldn't cheat by attracting the youngest and the healthiest patients in any way. You'd have to play by the rules, and you would be thrown off the exchange if you didn't. The government's contribution would be determined by bidding on the exchanges, in which the fee-for-service Medicare would also be a competitor. The government's contribution would be the second lowest bid. And we believe that the competition would, over time, result in more cost effectiveness, and that fee-for-service Medicare, if it improved as much as the regulators' approach hopes, might well be the best plan in some parts of the country, maybe many parts of the country. But we have a fail-safe mechanism on the government's contribution. If the government's contribution determined by the bidding process were to rise cumulatively over time, faster than the economy was growing plus 1%, it would be capped at that point. And the excess would result in a means-tested premium. We would protect the low end of the distribution, but people with higher incomes would have to pay more. It is in that sense a defined contribution plan, so that the Congress and the country would know how much the maximum that Medicare would cost, and incidentally, that would make it scorable by our friends at CBO. If it turned out that a lot of cost was being shifted to seniors, and the Congress wanted to change the law, obviously they could. They could change the premium, take more out of providers. They could do anything they want. Congress can always change the law, but it would have to do it by legislation.